So with the NBA season coming to a close, there's about 12 to 13 games left. There's four particular guys I want to talk about how them winning a championship would impact how they're viewed in the league right now. Honorable mention, I'd probably go Jimmy Butler. You know, he's led Miami to two finals, and possibly if he was able to win one with the Warriors, it would just solidify him as, great player. The dude's able to impact winning and lead teams very far in the playoffs. He'd probably be viewed as one of the best floor raisers in the league, despite being in his mid 30s. But let's get into it. The first guy I want to talk about, Russell Westbrook, favorite player of all time, favorite player currently. This year with Denver, everything just clicks, and I generally feel like if he was able to get one with Jokic, if the Nuggets were able to win an NBA championship, it would just put Russ into a new light. And the way he would win it, it would almost resemble what Oscar Robertson did so many years ago with Kareem, finally taking a reserved role, and he's finally able to get his first one. Yeah, you're not in your prime anymore. You're not the best player on the team, but you showed people the ability that you have on winning basketball. And Russ, obviously, he's a winning player. His play style doesn't always mesh well with other players, and with Jokic, it just seems very fluid. So, generally, if he was able to win one, I think there would be conversations top 3 point guard of all time. Statistically, already Russell Westbrook is the best point guard of all time. Statistically, I'm not saying he's the best, but statistically, yes, he is the best point guard of all time. So if he were able to get a championship, I think that would just solidify his legacy, and he would just be a GOAT. Next dude I want to talk about, James Harden. This year, it's really shown that James Harden, even after all these years, still has the ability to raise a team and get wins. Despite not having, the best roster, arguably him and Norman Powell and Ivica Zubac, the way he's been playing lately has been great, have led the Clippers to where they're at right now. And they're honestly one of my dark horse in the West. People don't really think they're going to do much, but we never know. I feel like teams that don't have any pressure on them, they tend to outperform pretty well. Like the Pacers last year, they literally made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. One, partly because everyone was injured, but also because, not really much people had them doing anything. They were just a great offensive team, bad defensive team, and somehow that got them all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. So, I feel like the Clippers this year could have something similar to that effect. And if James Harden wins a ring, I feel like James Harden being on my list, if he wins a ring, it would affect his legacy the least, partly because, all-time wise, he's still behind Jordan, Kobe, and Wade. Like, Harden's always going to be number 4, in my opinion. There are some delusional people that have him at number 3, but generally Harden's just going to be the 4th best shooting guard of all time. Let's keep it a buck. But, if he does end up winning a ring, he'll prove to himself and prove to people that he's able to win a championship being the best player on the team. Now, this depends on how well he plays in the playoffs, because Kawhi, he's starting to raise his level of play, but I do have a feeling that Harden might be the best player in the playoffs this year for the Clippers once they're in the playoffs. So if he was able to win a championship, that would just close the case that Harden, being the system, can lead you to winning. The next guy I want to talk about, Steph Curry. Now this one's pretty interesting. Steph has 4 right now. If he was able to win number 5 as a 37-year-old, I generally feel like there will be conversations that Steph is the greatest player of all time. Now, I won't be partaking in any of those conversations, because even if Steph did win ring number 5, I don't know, I feel like his argument's still not strong enough. But I feel like there will be people out there that will genuinely make a case for Steph being the greatest player of all time. 5 championships, 4,000 3-pointers made, revolutionized the game. You know, it's a small case, but, you know, I'm just not entertaining it. But another conversation I think people will open up, if Steph's better than LeBron. Now, I've seen people already starting to ask this question, if Steph is really better than LeBron. I'm going to say no, and I'll say why. LeBron, he's been at it for 20 years already. Steph, he really started being the player he was right now back in 2013. So realistically, he's only been this dominant for about 12-ish years. Bron got 8 more years on him. So people that say like, oh, well, Steph's a better player, I have Steph over Bron. That there's no argument for Steph being over Bron, because Bron's been doing it longer than Steph. But yeah, if Steph was able to win Ring 5, I definitely believe there would be genuine discussions on who's, like, if Steph's won a GOAT, and then who's better, LeBron or Steph. And especially if he wins ring number 5, I feel like that argument against Steph over Bron is going to be it's going to be crazy, I feel like. And the last player I want to talk about, LeBron James. Now, LeBron, I wouldn't, like, all these guys I talked about, I would love to see them all win rings, but the problem is only one person can win a championship. But LeBron, I would not mind seeing him get ring 5. Now, people, it's mixed. Is LeBron the GOAT? Now, my personal opinion, I have LeBron and Michael Jordan as a 1A, 1B type of thing. I don't really, like, I've watched Michael Jordan, I've watched LeBron James. I can make a case for either of them to be the GOAT. So I personally just have them as a 1A, 1B type of thing. Now, if LeBron were to win ring 5, I genuinely feel like that would just make people just say, like, you know what? LeBron's the GOAT. Like, there's no argument. Like, he's just the GOAT. And, you know, it would be like case closed for some people, not everyone. But yeah, if LeBron wins his 5th, there will definitely be an argument on who's the GOAT, just like there always is. But yeah, those are probably like a couple players I just wanted to talk about that, you know, if they win a ring, how it might change their perspective and how they're viewed and stuff. So yeah.